This boat has the Cummins engine. It's a 5.9 6 BTA 6-cylinder engine. Very easy to work on. It has valve covers that individually remove, very easy to get to. Injectors can easily be popped out. It has a heat exchanger here. The caps are accessible. You can actually take the heat exchanger off. The engine comes up and can go out the door. That's behind the camera. There's an expansion tank here. There is a overfill tank here. The dipsticks are right here. Very easy to get to from the forward hatch. There's an injection pump here. There's the water pump is here. There's a Grocco 1500 sea strainer. All your through holes are right here, easy to get to. It's a gel-coated bilge. Your alternator can come off. There's easy access to other things like the engine mounts. And there's also access to the transmission, which I'll show you through a different hatch. The big thing with this boat is there's actually room to work on it. So I can actually get down in front of the engine. I can work on the injection pump. I can work on the alternator. I can take my belt off. Anything I want to do up here. I can even be 100 pounds heavier and still fit here. On the sides are the same thing. You can get in on the side of this. You can bleed the engine on these very easily. There's a piece here, 2 screws here, and if you had to, you could pop. Usually I pop the second one with a 17mm wrench. If you had to, you don't have to usually do that. This engine has recent hoses. It has the better upgraded head on it. It's got a new head. It's been painted. It has oil change pretty much every single year. The big thing with this boat, though, there is no smell in this bilge whatsoever. There is a recent holding tank here. It's a polyethylene. It's not the original aluminum ones, which generally fell apart. It's a big size tank. There is also a recent water heater. Easy to get 2 fuses. There are 5 batteries in the boat, 2 for the engine, 3 for the house. Again, no smell, very clean. I'm wearing pants that I'm not worried about getting greasy. There's my sweaters here. I'm not going to get it greasy. It's a very clean bilge. It's always been that way. The next thing I'm going to show you is the aft hatch, the aft bulkhead, which has got a fuel strainer, and it has access to the stuffing box. And we'll see more of this insulation that's in here. It's all heavy-duty insulation with intersections that are made out of a high-density vinyl to keep the high-frequency noise away, and all the low-density noise is kept away with the foam and the foil. The aft hatch has very good access to, and I'll just start again. The aft hatch has very good access to a fuel filter, which I'll show in another view. The fuel selector valves for either tank, port or starboard, a water pump, and you'll see access to the transmission fluid, and also the stuffing box underneath. So I'll reposition the camera so you can see that, and I'll also show you where the batteries are as well. This is a better view of the aft bulkhead. To the left of the frame in the camera, you'll see there's a water pump for fresh water. There is a Raycor 500 FG with a vacuum gauge on the top, and right above that are two manifolds for the port and starboard tank, and there's a custom bowl added for the control station on the Blue Seas galley up is very similar to the galley down. This particular boat has a dashboard that was custom built. It allows the new Garmin display to be here, and I'll just pop that off. So that fits full size. Hummingbird fish finder, the original focus system, and this is a panel with the video gauges that lifts up. And that pops off and down. The Cobalt controls, which is a one-arm bandit, just like very similar to all the other Blue Seas. Hydraulic steering, the S-bar control with the temperature here. There's a spotlight control and a voltmeter, stereo control, and this is a searchlight. You can't see it because it's out of frame, but there are all the controls for the 12 volt are right here, and they're inset so your knee doesn't shut them off when the boat is moving. There are 3 bilge pump controls here, each with their own fuse, and they light up. They're either red lights when they're on, and with a galley up Blue Seas, you can close off the forward cabin. Normally this would be open, so now this becomes an extended area where you can put a full-size chart or a chart kit. And this particular boat is unique that it has a chart kit, a chart paraphernalia holder here, and a chart holder underneath. It's the only one that has that. The galley up Blue Seas obviously has a galley up. This one has a Force 10 4-burner stove and oven. So there are 4 burners here. This lifts up to be very easy to pick these up and clean. It's all stainless steel on the top. It has a retracting door that goes all the way on the inside, and there is a broiler here, and there's an oven as well. The cover can actually store behind the stove if you wanted to. Also up here is a very large drawer underneath, and a deep locker. You can actually crawl into that locker. A full-length drawer goes all the way underneath here, and you can't quite see it, but there are containers inside to hold various tools and markers. There's a shelf here for spices and so forth. This is another spice holder here for small items. The sink is a big square sink. It actually holds real dishes. Another full-size deep locker here. And just out of the frame on the other side, which I'll show you in a minute, are four drawers. There are 4 deep drawers here as well. They're all dovetailed. It's solid teak on the front, ash on the sides, and Formica bottoms. And they're quite long drawers. You can see they hold quite a bit of gear. All the hinges in the boat, no matter where they are full-length piano hinges. Here and here, they're not going to bend. All the doors are that way, and all the cabinet doors are that way. There is a fiddle here to keep things from rolling off. Again, you can see how this can hold various items here. And I'll show you this in a minute as well, but the screens will slide aft and the windows will slide aft. The table now is up above, obviously, and we pulled that from the hanging locker where it's stored nicely. It has leaves on it that you can fold halfway or all the way. And of course it's portable, so you can put it out in the cockpit. I just have it sitting here. But it's a very easy table to use, and it's Formica with teak trim, very nicely built. This berth is a pull-out double. The back pieces actually are the bottom pieces when it's pulled out. There's a big piano hinge underneath of me, and I'll pull that out in a few minutes to show you how it works. I'm 6'2", and I easily have room for a pillow and a sleeping bag to be able to sleep on this berth. It's very comfortable, it's wide, and it comes out at such a distance that you still can get by it because there's a fridge in the way up front that allows you to walk by it. It leaves you a space, and you still can leave the boat by going through the door, so it doesn't block the door. Underneath the berth are 2 large drawers, the same as before. They're teak on the front. This particular one has teak on the sides and has Formica on the bottoms to line them. And they are sea drawers, so you push them in, they click, you have to lift them up to pull them out so they won't come flying out in the sea. So there are 2 drawers. The middle piece here is actually a vent for the S-bar. And you can't see it because it's out of frame, but there is a Fireboy control and a master switch for the AC, which is within the regulated 12 feet of the inlet.